This episode is brought to you by Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard of Anchor, you should definitely check them out. It's a super easy tool that anyone can use to create and distribute their podcast. It has everything you need, and you can do it all from your computer or even your phone. Need your podcast cover art? There's a tool. Music and sound effects? They have you covered. Want to record on the fly? It's easy with the app. Now you may be saying to yourself, I already have a podcast. No worries, just create your account, upload, and publish to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Looking for some walking around money? Anchor connects you with advertisers who match your brand. It's a one-stop shop for all of your podcasting needs. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to BizQuik. I'm Julie.
And I'm Corey.
And today we have Reid Simkovitz, who's located in New Jersey. Reid is the founder and inventor of the Scruffie.
That's right. You're listening to BizQuik. This is where Julie and Corey provide quick and useful information to small business owners. BizQuik is the podcast where small business owners get to showcase their businesses and receive expert advice and guidance in areas many entrepreneurs struggle with. And you, the listener, get solutions, tips, and tricks on real-world topics that many small business owners face. Julie and Corey are the experts small businesses hire when they need solutions. And the BizQuik podcast is just one way they deliver those solutions. Let's start the show.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So let's go ahead and start off. The Scruffie is what? Explain your product to us. Tell
So the Scruffie, I actually have it right here. The Scruffie is a back of the neck shaver and leg shaver.
Okay, so it's a back of the neck and leg shaver. Like what?
Yeah, so it's a back of the neck shaver for guys to trim their necks in between haircuts, and it's an even quicker leg shave for women that want to use more than just like one blade. It's got 5 blades, and it looks a little scary, but it actually works pretty well.
What's the origin story of it? How did you come up with the idea?
So the origin story. Okay, so I'm going to school at Louisiana State University. And my friend Andre trims up the back of my neck in between haircuts because number one, I couldn't afford to go to the barber every week, and I just couldn't shave the back of my neck with a regular razor. So one night I had to go to a formal. Andre wasn't around. My neck was really hairy, so I was like forced to go to this event with like super hairy neck, and it just got me thinking like I'm gonna have to do something about this. I'm gonna have to create my own razor. So I went to the closest CVS on campus the next day. I bought a pack of disposable razors. I measured my neck, and I glued 4 disposable razors together. And I realized, okay, if I can make this flexible somehow, it could work. And then so I went to the student incubator. We got a prototype together, and from there I just went to a manufacturer, co-packer, and started putting the product together.
As a man who shaves his head regularly, as you can tell, nobody on this podcast, because it's not visual, can see. Like, what's the difference between that and just using a razor? I mean, obviously, like, I can't screw it up because I'm just going to get rid of all of the hair with a razor.
Are you talking about it from like a person who shaves their head standpoint of view, or just
like somebody who does their own personal grooming? Like, why couldn't I just use, like, if I had hair, why couldn't I use that on the back of my neck? Like, what's the benefit of using the Scruffie?
So the benefit of using the Scruffie is it's just a lot easier to use it, and it wraps around perfectly, and all you do is just swipe down on the back. With a regular razor, one, you have to swipe it more than, it takes a while to use a regular razor, number one. Number two, it is hard to line it up. The Scruffie's already lined up. You just line it up in the mirror, boom, done. A few swipes, and it's all good.
I would imagine that if you're having to shave the back of your neck, that one of the problems is that you miss spots, right? Like, I've been shaving my legs for 30 years and I still miss spots now, right? Where I'm like, how did that happen? Like, oh. So, and I can see my legs. So I'm guessing because you can't see the back of your neck, one of the benefits is you don't have any like little strips or patches of hair that remain after.
Right, and that's the other thing. It's just, you won't miss those spots. And all you have to do really is, like I said, line it up in the mirror. It's done. It's quicker. And yeah, using one razor or using a one bladed razor is, for me, it was very difficult to do that. And I was missing spots. I was getting a crooked neckline. So I'm like, all right, how can I make this product where it's all the blades are kind of together, it's flexible, and I won't be missing spots. I won't have a crooked neckline. I can just swipe right down and there, boom, clean neckline. And that's what I did.
And how long from the concept where you glued those Bic razors together until, you went through the incubator and got it to market? How long was that process for you?
Well, so it took, to be honest with you, I graduated without a design. And so it took a little over a year just to get a design. And so what the incubator does is like they paired me up with the engineer, and we just were struggling for, like I said, a little over a year, couldn't think of a design, couldn't figure this out. We went to another engineer named Jonah, and Jonah figured it out like that. And then we printed that prototype out. It was like $92 or something like that. And so it took from the idea, from conception to the actual product. I mean, it took a little over 3 years for everything to kind of come together like that.
Can you tell us about some of like the tips and tricks you might have learned taking a physical product to market? Some of our listeners and clients are in that industry, like where they're actually selling a product and not a service. And like, I know from my previous experience, there's a lot of things that you don't really know that you need to know, if that makes sense. So do you have any kind of like advice along those lines? Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'm still learning, and so I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But, I can say this. First things first, if you want to invent a product and you want to start there, you can go to a manufacturer. You can go to a prototyping center, and they'll actually help you out with that. They can make the CAD drawings for you. They can help you with patents and all that. And then from there, once you get everything into production, then basically just, what I did, and I guess we can go into this, is, I started posting all over social media. And then I started utilizing TikTok. And once I started utilizing TikTok, it's a free service to, you can promote yourself, your product, your service, whatever it is. You can, it's amazing. So I guess from any tips and tricks, it's like, you don't necessarily have to have the experience. You don't have to have any sort of expertise. For me, it was like, I just kept asking questions to manufacturers, and I didn't care if they were dumb questions. I just like, okay, so what do I do from here? Okay, well, you have to contact this manufacturer because they have this type of plastic. Okay, so I contacted that manufacturer. Like, well, actually, you have to, do this first. So I just kept asking questions all along the way. Got a lot of guidance from manufacturers, logistics companies, and I just kept going, just kept grinding.
I have so many questions about the TikTok thing, but I want to save
that. Sure.
I want to save that. Where are you selling the product?
So I'm selling it on the Scruffie.com and then Amazon as well. Okay. A lot of people ask me if I wanted to go into like retail, which I was hesitant about before this whole COVID thing even. And then now obviously it's like, it's just better to have it online right now. So yeah, Scruffie.com and Amazon for now.
And your target market is men who are in college and have formals to attend, or that was a little tongue in cheek?
Yeah. So the target market, what I've seen so far is like 24 to 36 for males, and then women, which is fairly new since they just started, we just started marketing it towards women for their legs, 51 plus. I mean, it's kind of, I'm still trying to figure that out, but that's the target market.
Since you've started targeting women, have you developed a new product for women? Like the females version of the Scruffie, the Scruffiette, or whatever.
The Scruffiette. Okay, it's funny you said that because I just started working on packaging, and it's not out yet. So, but it will be called something similar to that. And
You can have that, by the way.
and it's going to be called Scruffie for Legs. And I originally was going to do the Scruffette. Funny enough, you said that, but I didn't do it. So yeah, Scruffie for Legs, and it's going to be. Oh, here's the packaging, by the way. Well, this is the packaging. Sorry, this is the packaging for the regular Scruffie, but it's going to be like a lavender. And sorry, it's kind of like, and it's just going to say Scruffie for Legs there. So that's, and then eventually we'll have like smaller versions, like 3 blades and yeah.
So for our audience, for our listeners that couldn't see that, the packaging for Scruffie, which was originally marketed to men, is like a dark purple. And is that correct?
Yeah, dark purple navy.
Yeah. Okay, navy. And then for women, it will be a lavender color. I do want to know if women will be paying the pink tax on that.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said that. I don't know. I don't think so. I saw that question come up on TikTok the other day, and I'm not I'm not sure how that works. I don't think it would come up.
So essentially, you control that because manufacturers charge more for their products, the same product for women than they do for men. Yeah. Right. So you could have the exact same product. In fact, you could remove the 3 blades and have a 3-bladed Scruffie for Legs, or what are you calling it?
Scruffie for Legs.
Scruffie for Legs, and have a smaller product and charge more. And it would not be uncommon. That's how the pink tax works.
Yeah,
they charge more for everything for women.
I'm going to jump in right here because there's something that nobody ever talks about being an avid hunter and outdoorsman. There's the camo tax, which is the exact same thing. You buy the same product, but it's in camo. It costs more. So,
and that's partly women's fault because women started buying camo.
Yeah, well, they started buying pink camo. That's not my fault. Like if I wanted to buy duct tape, it's $2.50 a roll. If I want a roll of camo duct tape, it's half the size and twice the price.
Yeah, I would never do that. I just don't think I don't really understand. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. So I wouldn't. I would just, it'd be the same price.
We wanted to take a quick break to tell you more about SB Pace, the small business consulting company that makes this podcast possible. SB Pace, which stands for Small Business Planning, Advising, Coaching, Expertise, focuses solely on helping small businesses and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to start a small business of your own? SB Pace can get you up and running with a solid foundation that's built to last. Are you an existing small business in a slump or just looking for ways to improve what you do? We can help with that. Are you ready to take your business to the next level? SB Pace is the partner you need. You can find out more about SB Pace and what we have to offer by visiting our website, sbpace.com.
Once you launched it, and how did you make the decision of where you were going to put it? Like they were going to put it on your own online store for, the scruffie.com. You're going to sell it in Amazon. Did you consider any other distribution channels? And I know you said that initially you were thinking brick and mortar before COVID, but are you now you've completely backed away from that?
Yeah, well, so only because, okay, I actually had thought about putting it on other channels online first, but the customer service part would have been diminished. Like the return policies would be completely different. At least it was for this channel. So I just think from a customer standpoint, a customer service standpoint, it just wouldn't make sense. It would just diminish the brand, diminish that part. So I'm just going to have this on thescruffie.com. And even with Amazon, you can't contact your customer. They don't give you any sort of info for the customer. You get their address. And that's why I'm getting, actually I had custom thank you cards that had all that information. If you want replacement plates, go here. If you have any questions, contact here. I ran out of those. But with Amazon, it does give you more exposure, which is why I'm still on there. But I don't really want to go anywhere else online. As far as brick and mortar, I actually am in one salon here locally, but it's just tough with COVID and everything. Traffic isn't as high, and again, customer service standpoint, you're not there to answer any questions. And so maybe eventually, I'd be open to it. But for now, it's I'm doing okay with the two channels.
Are you figuring, is it kind of baptism by fire where you're figuring everything out as you go? Like you're now this, you launched it, and you had to have launched it since last November, because I first met you in November and it wasn't launched then, right?
Right. So I launched in April of 2020.
Okay. So, and now are you kind of learning the whole marketing and sales and working with all the distribution and, the supply and demand, everything? Are you learning that, as you go, just sort of baptism by fire, or what's your process there?
Yeah, learning it as I go. I'm trying to I try to read about SEO, search engine optimization and marketing every night. I try to get like one piece of information. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I am learning as I go. It's I guess there isn't there are books on this, but it's not in a general sense. It's you are kind of learning as you go. And someone who doesn't have experience in the razor industry, I mean, it's like I'm trying to learn as much as I can just by reading different things. But baptism by fire is a good way to phrase it.
Yeah. I want to circle back to, I just made the reference that I first met you in November, and I can remember, so we were at camp. Reid and I went to a grown-up camp together. Jesse Itzler put it on as part of his Build Your Life Resume community. Yes. And that's how I learned about the Scruffie was, Jesse was pretty much your hype man up on stage talking about the product. So I'm curious if you bought it.
Okay, so this is an interesting story. So 2 days before Georgia, the Camp BYLR, I saw he posted something on Instagram, and I figured, it was 2 days before camp, and I was like, oh, let me comment on it. So he's like familiar with me or whatever. Maybe I can I don't know. I don't know what was going to happen, but I commented oh, I can't wait to see you at Camp BYLR and dance like this. It was like a dance video or something like that. And he liked the comment. He must have went to my profile, went on my website, and put his email down for to pre-order it. I was running around my apartment. I'm like, oh my God. And then fast forward two days later, we're in camp. I'm I think a few of us introduced ourselves, maybe 4 or 5 or whatever it was. And I'm like, I got to introduce myself because one, I think it's a good thing to introduce myself to everybody. And two, maybe Jesse will he'll remember that he put his email down or whatever. And then you saw what happened. I introduced myself. Yeah, my name is Reid. I'm I'm living in Dallas. I work in sales. And, I invented the Scruffie. And he's like, that's genius. I signed up for that, or, whatever he said, which was really cool. That was awesome. Because I didn't know if he would remember or whatever. And then from then on out, it was everybody was like, oh, how do you know him? I don't really know him, but he, so that's how that thing came about. But that was awesome. I mean, that was really cool.
That is awesome. And he probably he definitely remembered you from when he signed up. Because as you learned at camp, when we had was his name Nelson? I can't believe I'm blanking on the memory guy's name. But when Nelson came on and it became clear that Jesse had been working so hard to know every person in the group.
Yeah.
And one thing about them, and he really does know everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that was, and I think he even mentioned it again. And so that was really awesome. And then what happened was, I told him before we left, I'm like, oh, I'll make sure I send you a Scruffie, when we launch. And then he gave me his address. And so I sent him and Sarah a Scruffie. I wrote him notes and stuff.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now I have to ask, tell us about TikTok. Because you were the first person we have talked to who has used TikTok as a marketing strategy. So we're so curious how this works.
This app, let me tell you something. This app is crazy. I mean, it's almost like it's too good to be true. Okay. So what happened was I sent my product to this guy. My college roommate was like, you got to send your product to this guy who reviews products on or Amazon products on TikTok. His name's Jared Anderson, and his handle is stuff you actually need. Super nice guy. Sent him my product. Sales skyrocketed. I'm like, and I had been sporadically posting on TikTok before that. And so I'm like, okay, I have to start like posting consistently on TikTok. Like this is a sign. I mean, this obviously works. So on August 23rd, 3 weeks ago, I posted a video day one of trying to get my product, the Scruffie, to go viral. And it was basically literally me right here. I don't know if the audience can see this, but
they can see it with their ears.
They cannot see it. You're pointing to a door.
Yes, a door. Yeah, right behind me. And I'm literally going back and forth with myself in this skit. Like I'm the customer, I'm also, the Scruffie salesman, just going back and forth. And at the same time, I'm trying to get like an attention grabber to make sure people are watching. So the first line was, "What do you mean you invented a neck shaver?" And then, I woke up the next day, got 100,000 views. And then I think right now it's over 600,000 views, and sales like went up over 200% since then. I mean, it's insane. It's like, so I've been posting every single day, because apparently you're supposed to post every day, or like your account gets frozen, or I don't even know what it is. So I've been just posting every single day. And then I posted my stepmom using the Scruffie on her legs. And I posted that on Sunday, and that has like 530,000 views. Sales again. Yesterday I had 30 orders. July I had 11 orders. I mean, it's so crazy. It was just insane. So if you're a business owner, even if you don't have a product like mine, I get it. It's kind of a different product. But there are people that are cooks on there, like chefs. There's real estate agents on there. I mean, you have to try it. You gotta try being creative on there, because it's very easy to go viral.
That brings me to my last question for the podcast today, because we're kind of running out of time. But
that's fine.
Since you're a new business and, an entrepreneur and inventor and all of that, is there any particular piece of advice that you would just give? Like something that, knowing what you know now, that you could go back and do again? What would that be?
So it's hard to say right now, but for me, I think I wish I had been on TikTok earlier. And part of the reason I wasn't on TikTok was because fear of judgment. And I know it sounds kind of corny and cheesy, but I was kind of afraid to put myself out there, put the product out there. And if I had just gotten over that part, who knows where I would be right now. Like as far as sales go, skyrocket even more. But I think you got to go all in. If you're going to start a business, any sort of product-based business, service-based business, you might as well just go all out. You have, and for me, it's like, just go all out, because then you can look back and you're like, okay, I gave it my all. I tried my best. But if you don't do that, then you're gonna have doubt. And so my suggestion is just figure out what you want to do, decide what you want to do, just go all out, give it all you got.
And that's great advice, and I love that. Is there anywhere, or obviously there is, where would you like to send our listeners to find more about your product, buy your product, etc.?
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, you can go on TikTok. You can follow us there. Instagram is where we're really we post a lot. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. At the Scruffie, you can go to thescruffie.com. You can find us on Amazon, where the Scruffie is there as well. And you can follow me as well, Reid Simkovitz, on all social media platforms.
And for all of those platforms, it's at the Scruffie?
Yeah. So, yes. Twitter I don't really use, but Twitter's like the _Scruffie. But yeah, everything else is the Scruffie.
Okay.
And for all of our listeners, we can go to the show notes to get the spelling on that last name.
Yes.
Yes. It's a bit tricky.
Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for joining us today. It was really great to have the conversation and to catch up and to learn specifically about how you launched this product.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
Appreciate it. You can connect with Julie and myself on social media via LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And you can reach us on our site at sbpace.com or bizquickpodcast.com.
Yeah. And please listen and subscribe to our podcast. And if you could, like it and review it, because every like and every review helps. And Corey, as Corey likes to say, we love feedback.
And we love to hear about new topics. So send us a message. Let us know what you want to hear about. Let us know if you're interested in being in the podcast. We're here to help. That's what we do. Also, we have got a book out. It's called Seriously Now What? A Small Business Guide to Disaster Preparedness. You can buy that on Amazon, or you can go through our website to find that.
Thanks again. I'm Julie.
And I'm Corey.
And this is BizQuik, helping small businesses across America.